Hi friends, welcome back to our channel. In this video, we are going to learn about a very important SQL concept. But before beginning our lecture, let us have a look at a scenario in an office where an employee Alice is working on a reporting function of the application for Gadget Shop client. Her manager, Bob, who serves more of a non-technical role in the office, walks in and shares a peculiar problem with her. He says, Alice, I'm pulling a report for our sales analytics team and I am able to pull the customer information for our client. But is there a way to pull data based on specific filters? Because I would like to know how many customers we have over the age of 35. Alice suddenly thinks of the most important clause in SQL as soon as Bob mentions filter. And that, my friends, is where clause. So let us see how Alice would be generating queries to pull the data according to required filters. For making the where clause work, we have some operators in SQL such as equal to, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, not equal to, between, like and in. We would be going through each of these one by one. So let me just open SQL Server Management Studio because we are going to work on SQL Server today. We have a database, Gadget Shop, because Alice is working on the client who has a gadget shop. And for that, we'll just click on New Query. To pull the customer information, we are going to select the data from Customers table. In this table, we'll see how many rows we have. So currently it is showing 20 records. Great. Now, to understand how the where clause works, we'll be putting the where clause in this particular select statement, and for that we have to learn the syntax first. How it goes is, after the select statement, we put the keyword where and we'll be giving the column name. I'll comment this line and we'll mention the operator. After that we give the value. So the column name is the name of the column in this particular table because we are working on customers table. The operator would be from the list of operators that we have already seen over here. We'll be going through them one by one. And then comes the value, which will be according to the given requirement. So over here, if we check, as Bob suggested that he would like to see the number of customers who are over the age of 35. So we'll be putting our greater than operator over here because the requirement says that the age has to be greater than 35. Okay, so I'll mention the where keyword to put the where clause. The column name is age over here and the operator greater than comes like this with the greater than sign, of course, and the value is 35. So I'll be running this particular query and this give me 10 records. Thus we have the data for the mentioned requirement. Great. So we have got our requirement filled. The manager could easily get how many number of customers are there over the age of 35 from this particular table now, right? Now let's move on to our next operator, that is equal to. What if the requirement is to understand how many number of customers are there from this particular table where age is equal to, let's say, 28. So this is just a guess. I don't know if the data even exists in this table or not with the age 28, but let's try to find out if it does. Great. So we have only one record where the customer is of the age 28. How I made the comparison? I gave the column name, then put the equal to operator and give the value. So I think you all can understand that age would be of the type int. Over here, if I just hover over it, it says that it is an integer column and it is a nullable column as well. So that is why I have put the value like this. But what if I want to make the comparison with a string value? For that, I'll simply write over here the same kind of statement, but I will be selecting a different column now. And why is that? The reason is because I have to choose a string column to make a string comparison. I'll choose city column and make the comparison with this particular value. So I want to understand how many customers are there who belong to this city. I click on execute and I get only one record again. So there is only one particular customer who's belonging to this city, and this is the exact comparison that the equal to operator makes. It could either be on the integer value or it could be on the string value. We could also check if there are customers belonging to another city. For that, I will be choosing another value. So I'll take the first one and execute this particular query. So this gave me 3 records. There are 3 customers who belong to this city, and this is the exact comparison that we are making. So we just got to know how we put the equal to operator for comparing the integer as well as string values. Now we come to the next operator, that is less than. So the same way greater than worked, we'll just use the same particular query and replace the greater than operator with the less than operator. So what I want to tell you is that before even executing the query, I know the result of this particular statement. The reason is because I knew that we had 20 records in this particular table. If there are 10 customers who are belonging to the age greater than 35, so there should be 10 customers only who belong to age less than 35. So I execute this particular query and I have got 10 records over here. So this particular query also gave me 10 records. But just to make sure that less than operator works absolutely fine in SQL, I'll give another value over here. I'm giving 25 and I want to check how many customers are there who belong to the age less than 25. And there are only 2 customers. So we have got our answer that less than also is working absolutely fine over here. Great. Now we come to the next operator, that is greater than or equal to. I'll just copy the exact query, and what I'll do is I'll change the operator and give this particular value. This is just a guess that I want to take the age who are greater than equal to 30. So now this is just a random value that I have given. I don't know how many records exist of this particular query and how many records basically this query is going to return. But I want to see how many customers are there who are greater than 30, but they could also be of the age 30. That is how greater than or equal to works. And over here we see that there are 17 customers who are of 30 or maybe greater than 30. So we see a record which is of age 30 also in this particular result. Great. And I think the less than or equal to should be put on the same value, that is 30 only, because we want to see if this particular query would also include the age 30 as well. So yes, it is including. There are 2 records of age 30 and the other ones are less than 30. Okay, 3 records actually, not 2. So we have got our answer for this particular query as well. There are 6 customers who are belonging to age 30 and less than 30. So now our next operator is also very interesting. Why interesting? Because it is a scenario which could happen in real life where you want to exclude a particular record from the result set. What you want to retrieve is a result set excluding a value, you don't want to include it. At that time you use not equal to. So what I want to do is I want to see how many customers are there who do not have this first name. I'll give the value as well, but to put the operator I'll be putting the not equal to operator. This is how we put it, and I'll choose this particular first name. So I want to make sure that there is no personal grudge against this first name. I'm just choosing it as a random value. What I want to see is that how many customers are there who do not have this particular first name. Okay, so there are 19 customers. There was only one customer who had this particular first name. Great. Now if I just want to see how many customers are there who do not belong to a particular city, I choose the city and run this query. So there are 17 customers. And this particular query returned absolutely correct response. How can I make sure? I'll just go to the equal to one and show you the records. There are 3 records that belong to this city, right? And when I choose not equal to as the operator, then there are 17 records. So 17 added to 3 would be 20, and that is the total number of records that we have in this particular table. So this one gave me 19 records. I'll just mention over here, and both of these queries are working absolutely correct. To make a comparison to integer value, I'll just pull the age column and give a random value which could be 30 and run this query. So there are again 17 customers who are not of the age 30. So this is how we just saw. This is the way we put not equal to. The next operator that we have is between. So how do we put the between operator, and why do we need to put the between operator? So let's try to assume that there is another requirement by the manager. They say that we want to find how many customers belong to a particular range of the age, and the range is 25 to 35. So we mention the keyword, we give the column name, we mention the operator between 25 and 35, and we run this query. So it says that there are 8 records belonging to this particular range, and what I want to make clear is that this range is inclusive. It means that 25 and 35, if existing in the table, would be returned as well. But as I do not see it here, I'll change the value. I'll pull the age 30 and upper range also is changed over here. Execute this query. So it says 30 and 40 both are included in this particular result set, and there are 10 customers who belong to this particular range. Great. So we have got to know about the between operator also. Moving on to the next operator is in. Why I have selected in is because I want to discuss this particular operator after this. It is a very interesting and kind of lengthy operator that I want to make sure you will be able to grasp. So quickly I'll discuss in operator. How the in operator is helpful in real life projects is, let's say there is not a single value that I want to compare. I want to compare it, the column, with multiple values. So if I just say city only column, this particular column I want to compare with 3 values. And how I can do is that after putting the brackets in quotes, I'll mention the string values and give the city names. So I am choosing 3 cities to get the records. So there are 5 customers who belongs to these 3 cities. I've got the result over here. And this works the same way as equal to operator. It works very well with the integer values as well. I want to select how many customers are there of these ages. So it has given me 4 records, but you see that only 30 and 40 are included over here. It means that there was no customer belonging to this particular age, that is 38. And how I can make sure is I can run the query for equal to and see that there are no records coming up for the age 38. So that is why I'll comment out this query. So that is why I have got the results including 30 and 40. So this is how the in operator works. Now we'll have a look at like operator. For like operator, first I'll select all the data from this table. So let's assume you want to match a pattern in a particular column of the table. Okay, so what you are not trying to do is, you don't know the exact value, you're trying to match a pattern. Let's say we have email column. So what I want to find out is how many emails exist ending with gmail.com, or how many exist ending with yahoo.com. So basically, if I want to match a pattern rather than the exact value, I use the like operator. And how does this pattern matching works? In quotes, I have to use percentage sign. So there are multiple ways to use the percentage signs. It could either be in the beginning with a XYZ string, it could be in the end. Here also I'll just write XYZ, and it could be in the middle, XY percentage Z, or it could be surrounding, that is at the beginning, at the end, both have the percentage sign. What it means is, it says this is starting with any string but ending with XYZ. This means starting with XYZ and ending with any string. Now this means starting with XY with any string in the middle and ending with Y. Now this means starting with any string, in the middle we have XYZ and ending with any string. So these are the different patterns that we could match with. Percentage sign basically means any string could be there. We just have to match the exact characters which we mention. So in the email, if I say that it has to start with any string, but it should end with .in, okay? And if I try to find this particular data, it's not giving any results. That means there is no customer whose email is ending with .in. But if I want to find how many customers are there whose email is ending with .com, it is giving me 20 records. So for all the customers, the email is ending with .com. Great. Now, what if I want to find how many customers are there whose email is starting with R? It means that in the end it could be any string, but the first character has to be R, and over here it meant that the last 4 characters had to be .com. If I execute this particular query, it's giving me 4 records, no 5. Okay, so 5 records over here. And here it was 20. I could match the first 2 characters also. Let's say I write here RA. So the first 2 characters have to be RA, then it could be any string. And if I execute this one, it says 3. Total number of 3 customers are there whose email is starting with RA and ending with any string. If I just want to match the city like this, I say that in the middle it could be any string. It has to start with N and end with I. So how many customers are there? So for New Delhi, 3 customers are there, 3 records here as well. The start character is N, the end character is I, and we have 3 records over here. So this is the way it could work. I could have another example also here, where it is starting with any character, and like this, if I write city, in the middle it should be En, somewhere in the middle it should be En. It could start with any string, it could end with any string. Also the number of characters don't matter with the percentage sign. We have to make sure we understand this concept, that the number and the kind of character that is there, it doesn't matter when we put the percentage sign. Okay, so only 1 record is returned here. That means in this city, the character En is coming in the middle of the string, and we have starting with any character and ending with any character. So I hope you have all understood how the like operator works. Now, usage of where, this is what we are going to discuss. We have seen all the operators and how they work. We have seen how we can put the operators with string or integer values. But now what I would like to explain to you is that we don't simply use where with a single operators generally. So like for example, when I work on projects and I am writing a stored procedure, we have multiple filters that we need to use, and in that scenario we have to put where clause on multiple columns. So how does that work? Like I want to pull the data of New Delhi city, but what I want to make sure is that the age of the customers should be less than equal to 30. So for that I have written it like this: one clause here with the city column and the value, and another clause here. Between these 2 clauses there comes an AND. That is the keyword that you have to use when you are in a situation where you have to enforce both of the conditions in the query. This means that both of these have to be true and only those records will be returned where both the conditions are fulfilled. So if I execute it, this gives me two records. That means the city would be New Delhi and the age would be less than equal to 30. Only those records will be existing in the result set. No other record would come. So AND enforces both conditions to be true. Only then the data set is returned. Let's say I want that the city could be New Delhi or the age could be less than equal to 30. What happens in that case? Let's check it out. So here all of the customers whose city is either New Delhi or their age is less than equal to 30. Here we see that the city is not New Delhi but the age is less than equal to 30. So that condition is holding true. So if one of the true conditions is holding true, then the result set would include that particular record. So it does not enforces both conditions, it is enforcing either of the condition to be true. So this simply works like AND or gates that you might have studied. It means that when we say we are putting an AND in between the two conditions, both the conditions have to be held true for the record to be included in the result set. And when we put OR in between the two conditions, either of the two conditions could hold true and the record would be included in the result set. So over here I could use a NOT operator also. I say that the customers are belonging to New Delhi but the age is not 30, and I want to use AND in between. So these two records are returned in the result set. So I hope you have understood how we put multiple filters while using where clause, and generally we want to use multiple filters because in real life projects you would not have just one of the conditions to be held true. You might have to face a reporting or analytics application where you are putting multiple filters for the application to work faster or the business criteria says so. So I hope this was helpful for all of you to understand how the where clause works, how multiple operators in the where clause works, and how we can use multiple conditions in where clause to help in real life projects. If you like the video, please do subscribe to the channel because we'll be coming up with more such content. Do hit like and we'll see you next time. Thank you.